Hello children, hope everyone is safe at home. And now this is your biology class. And in the last class we discussed chapter 1, that is nutrition in plants. Hope you all remember what is nutrition. The mode of taking food. Nutrition is nothing but the mode of taking food, and our body utilizing it. The mode of taking food and utilizing it by the body is called nutrition. Mode of taking food means what? For example, how do we take our food? Through mouth, chewing and swallowing, is it not? How do butterflies take their food? By sucking the nectar from flowers. How do frogs take their food? They catch and swallow. So there are different modes of taking food. So the mode of taking food by an organism and utilizing it. Utilizing means what? Our body should use them. How it accepts, how it gets digested and how the nutrients are absorbed. That is called utilization. So the mode of taking food by an organism and its utilization is called nutrition. You should not get confused with the terms nutrient and nutrition. Nutrient is nothing but the components of the food. What are the components of the food? There are various nutrients: carbohydrates, proteins, fats, vitamins and minerals. They are nutrients. But here we are discussing about nutrition. You should know the difference between the two terms, nutrient and nutrition. And this nutrition is of two types in living organisms. That is autotroph and heterotroph. What are they? Autotrophs and heterotrophs. What is that autotroph? For autotrophs, the example is plants. That means the plants are able to prepare their own food. They are able to synthesize. Auto means self. Trophic means nourishment. They are able to prepare their own food, self-nourishment. That is called autotroph. So the plants have autotrophic mode of nutrition. That is, they are able to prepare their own food. How they are able to prepare their own food? Through the process called photosynthesis. Hope you all know this. All the plants prepare their own food through the process called photosynthesis. That means they absorb carbon dioxide from air. Where do carbon dioxide is present? In the air. So from the atmosphere, they absorb carbon dioxide. Through which it absorbs? Through the stomata, the tiny opening present in the leaves. So through that stomata, the plants absorb carbon dioxide from the atmosphere, and they absorb water from the soil. They absorb water from the soil in the presence of sunlight. Sunlight is a major source of light. Without sunlight, this is a source of energy, main source of energy. So, plants absorb carbon dioxide from air water from the soil in the presence of sunlight and chlorophyll. Chlorophyll spelling CHLOROPHYLL. In the presence of sunlight and chlorophyll, they are able to prepare the food. What is that food? Carbohydrate. C6H12O6. The molecular formula of carbohydrate is C6H12O6. It is nothing but carbohydrate. This carbohydrate is then stored as starch. So the plants prepare the food for carbohydrate, then it is stored as starch. So both are same. Or else it will also be called as glucose. So carbohydrate or starch or glucose, and it releases oxygen. So this is the equation for the photosynthesis. In 2 marks it may be asked. Write the equation for the process of photosynthesis. So you should know how to write. Carbon dioxide plus water in the presence of sunlight and chlorophyll, they are able to prepare the carbohydrate, that is the starch, and releases oxygen. So this is the process of photosynthesis by which the plants can prepare their own food. Hence they have the autotrophic mode of nutrition. All the green plants are able to prepare their own food. And you may have seen some colored leaves. For example, in crotons plant and all, you could see that colored leaves. Are they be able to prepare their own food? You might have seen different colors, yellow, pink, orange, red and all. I have few leaves. Now, you see the color of this leaf, somewhat brown in color, orange mixed, reddish. Here see, somewhat different colored leaf. Then another one, yellow colored leaf. So why these leaves are in different colors? Is chlorophyll present in these leaves or not? So the answer is yes. Chlorophyll is present in these leaves also. Then why it is in different colors? It should be green in color. The chlorophyll pigment only. Why all the green plants are green in color? Because of the pigment called chlorophyll, which gives the green color. Then what about this leaves? Does it have the chlorophyll pigment? Yes. This also has the chlorophyll pigment. Then how it is in different color, present in different color? That means other pigments other than green pigment, colored pigments are also present, which is present in large quantity than the green pigment. The green chlorophyll pigment vida other color pigments are present in more quantity. So they mask the presence of chlorophyll. Mask means what? Protect or hide the presence of green pigment. மறைச்சிடுறது. இது அதிகமாக இருக்கிறதுனால அதர் கலர் பிக்மெண்ட்டு கிரீன் கலர் பிக்மெண்ட்டை மறைய வச்சிருது. தட் இஸ் வை see this yellow color leaf contains yellow color pigment in more quantity. That is why green color is not appearing in this, and it gives the green color of the yellow color of the leaf. Understand? So these leaves are also able to prepare their own food. You might have the doubt whether these leaves can prepare their own food. Yes, these also can prepare their own food. Okay, so in this way, the plants belongs to autotrophic mode of nutrition. Plants are the only organisms which can prepare their own food. Then what about the other? All human beings, animals, all belong to heterotrophs. Heterotrophs means what? Depending on others. Heterotrophs means what? Depending on others, because they are not able to prepare their own food. Understand? Now this heterotrophic mode of nutrition is of 4 types. Okay, before that, another one thing. How can you know that the starch is present in the leaves? For example, in this yellow leaf itself, how can you test whether chlorophyll is present in this or not? For that, test for starch is there. What we have to do is, we have to pluck a leaf like this. And you have to hide this leaf in a certain portion like this. You can paste a strip of paper or some other thing, a paper or cloth, and you have to tie it in the center or anywhere. A part of the leaf should be covered with a strip of paper. And it should be left for 2 or 3 days in the same way. After that, you have to pluck that leaf and you have to boil that leaf in water. See, in this chart, I don't know whether you could see clearly or not. I think the picture you could see clearly. This is a potted plant. And in this, one of the leaf is covered with a strip of paper. And that leaf is plucked and it is boiled in water in a beaker. So this helps to break open the cell wall. All the cells will have the cell wall like this. So boiling the leaf in hot water helps to break open the cell wall. And again, after that, what will happen? This boiled leaf will be transferred to a test tube containing alcohol. It should be transferred to a test tube containing alcohol. So what will be present in the test tube? Alcohol. And this test tube should be kept in a beaker containing water. And it should be heated like this. Again, I will say in Tamil. ஒரு பிளான்ட்டில் ஒரு லீஃபை மட்டும் ஒரு போர்ஷனை கவர் பண்ணிவிட்டு 2 or 3 டேஸ்க்கு அப்படியே விட்டுறணும். அந்த பர்டிகுலர் லீஃபை எடுத்து ஹாட் வாட்டரில் பாயில் பண்ணணும். அப்போ அது என்ன ஆகும்? செல் வால் பிரேக் ஆகிடும் ஃபஸ்ட்டு. நெக்ஸ்ட்டு அந்த பாயில் பண்ண லீஃபை ஆல்கஹால் இருக்கிற டெஸ்ட் டியூப்பில் போட்டு அந்த டெஸ்ட் டியூபை ஒரு பீக்கர் பீக்கரில் வாட்டர் இருக்கும் அதில் வச்சு ஹீட் பண்ணணும். This helps to remove the chlorophyll pigment, to extract the chlorophyll pigment. And the chlorophyll வெளியே கொண்டு வந்துரும். Then after that, remove that leaf and you have to add a few drops of iodine. You have to add few drops of iodine to this leaf. So what will happen means that covered portion alone will remain as it is and the other part will turn into blue-black color. So the uncovered part will be turning into blue-black color. The color changes to blue-black. But the covered area remains unaltered. அது மாறாம அப்படியே தான் இருக்கும். Why? Because the uncovered part is exposed to sunlight. So they prepare their own food. Photosynthesis they prepared. Okay. Next. This one. What is this one? The remaining covered part, it doesn't undergo any color change. Because it is covered, no photosynthesis takes place. Here where the portion, the color change occurs, that area carried out the photosynthesis. Understand? So this is the test for starch. Whether the starch is prepared in the leaf or not. How the starch will be prepared? Through the process called photosynthesis. Hope you all understand. So like this we can test whether the photosynthesis process took place and carbohydrate is produced or not. Next, coming to the heterotrophic mode of nutrition. Heterotrophs are classified into 4 types. They are, first one, parasitic mode of nutrition, insectivorous plants, then saprotrophs, then another last one, symbiosis. Last one, symbiosis. So in the last class itself we have discussed parasitic, insectivorous and saprotrophs. Again we shall recall. What is parasitic mode of nutrition? The organisms which depend on others for their food, that is for nourishment, is called parasitic mode of nutrition. And the example for that is Cuscuta. The example for this is Cuscuta, and it is otherwise called as Amarbel. It is otherwise called as Amarbel. Amarbel. So parasitic mode of nutrition means the mode of nutrition in which the plants depend on others for their nourishment is called parasitic mode of nutrition. Example Cuscuta, or the other name of Cuscuta is Amarbel. Now I will show you that Cuscuta. That Cuscuta is nothing but a thread-like tubular structure which climbs on other trees or plants. See, now this is a plant, green plant. This is a separate green plant, and this is the Cuscuta. Can you see the thread-like structure here? Thread-like structures. See how it has climbed on the other plant. See, in this also, it has climbed. See the thread-like structures, it has climbed on the other plant. So, these Cuscuta having parasitic mode of nutrition. It depends on other plant. This is green in color. So, this climbed on this green plant for their nourishment. Okay. So this green plant acts as host. Host means what? Which provides the nourishment to the parasite. That is called host plant. So the parasite depend on other plant. So that plant which provides nourishment to this parasite is called host. For example, in this green plant is the host and Cuscuta is the parasite. Okay, yes. So this is one mode of nutrition, parasitic mode of nutrition, and the example is Cuscuta. The other name of Cuscuta is Amarbel. Next one, insectivorous plants. Some plants live in the region where there is no nitrogen. In the soil, no nitrogen will be present. Nitrogen is present in abundant in the atmosphere. And this nitrogen is very important for the plant's growth. But the plants cannot absorb the nitrogen directly because it is in the insoluble form. So, this nitrogen will be absorbed by the bacteria. Sorry, here in this nitrogen will be obtained by the plants by trapping some insects. And by digesting that insect, the plants will absorb the nitrogen from that insect's body after digesting that. So this mode of getting nitrogen by trapping insects is called insectivorous mode of nutrition. That means the plants will kill the insect, trap and kill the insect and absorb the nitrogen from them. Example, Venus flytrap and another one, pitcher plant. Hope you all remember. In the recorded class, I have shown you the pictures. So like this. Pitcher means nothing. It is like this in this shape. It will have a lid and inside the pitcher, digestive juices will be secreted, and thinking this digestive juice as nectar, the insects will come and sit on this, and it will be trapped and it will be pulled inside that pitcher and it will get digested. From that the plants will obtain their nitrogen for its growth. Example, pitcher plant and Venus flytrap. Next one, saprotrophs. So saprotrophic mode of nutrition means obtaining nourishment from the dead and decayed organisms. From dead and decayed organisms. From dead and decayed organisms. For this example, mushroom and bread mold. In case of rainy season, in winter season or rainy season, you can see lot of umbrella like outgrowths in that trees, bark of the trees, or in wet places, moist places and all. It is nothing but the fungus or the mushrooms. What it will do means, it will secrete some digestive juices on the substratum on which it grows, and it will make that area into soluble form, and it will absorb the nutrients from that. So this mode of nutrition in which the plants absorb its nourishment from the dead and decayed organisms in soluble form is called saprotrophic mode of nutrition, and the organisms having such mode of nutrition are called saprotrophs. புரிஞ்சிருக்கும்னு நினைக்கிறேன். Waste product, wet places la எல்லாம் என்ன ஆகும், fungus will grow. For example, bread mold. If you keep the bread covered for a few days, after that if you open that container, you can see some hairy outgrowth in black color or brown color grown on that bread surface. It is nothing but the fungus. So this fungus, what they will do, they will secrete some liquid on that food product and make them decay and make it soluble. Thanni mari it will something will come out. It is nothing but the secretions because of that fungus, and it will absorb the nutrients from that food item, dead and decayed organism. This mode of nutrition is called saprotrophic mode of nutrition. Next one, last one, symbiotic nutrition, symbiosis. Now we discussed about three things: parasites, insectivorous plants, and saprotrophs. Then last one, symbiosis. Symbiosis means nothing but the organisms, two organisms live together and share their food and shelter, and both are benefited. Both will be benefited. So, living together and getting benefit. Living together and getting benefit. They are benefited. So this mode of living together and getting benefited with each other is called symbiotic mode of nutrition. Example for this is lichen. Lichen means nothing but alga and fungus both are living together. Algae is nothing but the green patches found on the surface of water. தண்ணி மேல பாசம் முடிச்சிருச்சுன்னு சொல்வீங்கல்ல, the green patches are nothing but alga. They have chlorophyll, that is why they are green in color. So these alga can prepare their own food. But fungus, they don't have chlorophyll. So they are not able to prepare their food. But what could they do? They could absorb the nutrients and water from the soil, and it will be provided to this alga. Nutrient and water from the soil, and it will be given to this alga. In return, the alga will provide food to this fungus. So both are helping each other and both are getting benefited. So this mode of nutrition, helping each other and getting benefited, this relationship is called symbiotic relationship. Understand? Two or more organisms live together and helping each other and they get benefited. Such mode of nutrition is called symbiotic nutrition. Example is lichen. Another one example is leguminous plants. In leguminous plants means what? Plants which give pulses. Plants which give pulses. Leguminous plants. Leguminous plants. உளுத்தம்பருப்பு, பாசிப்பயிறு, pulses, எல்லா பருப்பு வகைகள். அந்த மாதிரி பிளான்ட்ஸில் the roots will have the root nodules. Roots will have root nodules. Like this. If this is the root of a leguminous plant. In this, root nodules will be present here and there. You can see some nodules. இந்த மாதிரி beads மாதிரி அங்கங்க இருக்கும். So these are nothing but the rhizobium bacteria. Rhizobium bacteria. So what these rhizobium bacteria will do? They will absorb the nitrogen. Plants need nitrogen for their growth and also to prepare proteins. All the legumes are rich in proteins. So how the proteins are able to produce in these plants? Using the carbohydrates, the proteins will be produced, and the proteins are rich in nitrogen components. So this nitrogen, the plants cannot absorb directly from the atmosphere. They should absorb from the soil only. So how it could be fixed? This rhizobium bacteria in the roots, they absorb the nitrogen from the atmosphere and it fixes this nitrogen in soil in soluble form. It converts the insoluble nitrogen in air. In air, it will be in the insoluble form, this nitrogen. It will be converted into soluble nitrogen and it will be fixed in the soil. And this root will absorb that nitrogen and it will be used for its growth to prepare proteins. So in this way, both the bacteria and the plants get benefited by each other. Rhizobium provides nitrogen to the plant, plant provides food and shelter to the bacteria. Food and shelter. They provide food for this bacteria and also gives place, living place, that is called shelter. So rhizobium bacteria provides nitrogen to this plant. Plant provides food and shelter to the bacteria. In this way, both are benefited and helping each other. So this mode of nutrition also belongs to symbiotic relations. Understand, children? So like this, the nutrition is of two types, autotrophic and heterotrophic, and this heterotrophic is again classified into four types, that is what are they? Parasites, insectivorous plants, saprotrophs, and the last one symbiosis. So for the symbiosis, I explained two examples. One is lichen and the other one leguminous plants and rhizobium bacteria. Now, how the nutrients are replenished in the soil? Replenishment, replenishment, replenishment of nutrients in soil. See, if we grow on crops, growing crops in a field means all the nutrients will be absorbed by the plants and the soil will become nutrient deficient. Deficiency means what? Deficient. That means loss of nutrient. Nutrients will be lost. It will get exhausted. Plants absorb பண்ணிட்டே இருந்தா nutrient soil என்ன ஆகும்? தீந்துரும், இல்லாம போயிடும். Then how the plants will get nutrients for its growth? There are two ways. One is farmers will provide extra fertilizers and manures. They will supply fertilizers and manures for the replenishment. Fertilizers and manures. Replenishment means again and again formation. How can we again the nutrients will be reformed in the soil? By supplying the fertilizers and manures in the form of NPK fertilizers, nitrogen, phosphorus and potassium. All these are very essential for the growth of the plant. So they may either produce supply organic manures or chemical fertilizers for the requirement of the plant growth. Then another one method is crop rotation. By crop rotation, what is this crop rotation? See, different crops will be grown in fields. For first 6 months, one type of crop will be produced, and another 6 months, another type of crop will be produced. By doing so, the nutrients will be regained in the soil. For example, if paddy is grown for first 6 months in a field, paddy means what? Rice. After that, the farmers again they should not sow the wheat or some plants with carbohydrate foods. They should not grow. What they have to do? They have to grow some leguminous plants. Now only we discussed. Leguminous plants, what they will do? In that, the root nodules will be there, the bacteria will be living there, rhizobium bacteria, they will absorb the nitrogen from air and they will fix that nitrogen in soluble form in the soil. So, the soil can regain the nitrogen nutrient. So, this is an advantage, significant for the farmers. For them, no need to supply more nitrogen to the soil. Understand? So, in this way, by adding manures and fertilizers or by crop rotation method, the nutrients of the soil can be replenished. That means regained for the plant growth. So with this chapter comes to an end and the classwork will be sent to you. Classwork and worksheet, you all complete then and there and learn well. Okay. Thank you, children. If you have any doubt, you may call me and ask me. Thank you.